Hello, everybody. Now I'm not muted anymore. I always do that. Hey, welcome to Malison's development update number 6. Um, so after the stream, I will be resuming my playthrough of Kingsfield for the Ancient City. I started playing last week, and it's been a lot of fun. Great atmosphere. Um, there's something very cozy about those dungeon crawler games. They're really something about just the quiet vibe, the quiet, mysterious, calm vibe of them. Really like them. So yeah, I'll be playing that in about an hour at like 9 p.m. EST. And so stay tuned or check back later if you're interested. Um, Also, at the end of this short dev update, it'll probably just be like 10 minutes long. I will be answering questions if anyone has some. So think about those questions you might have now. All right, so let's start. So this week I continued working on. I should have like a screen of the game while I talk about it. Yeah, there you go. That's one of the things I want to show later. That's a good image. Uh, so so yes. So this week continued working on various quests as usual. I finished some things related to Scotty's quests on King Street. There's now some new complications that happen when you carry the corpses around for that quest, like when you have to bury bodies that were found in the streets. I also started adding bits of polish to Chapter 1. Added some more secrets and little spooky moments to a few locations in Chapter 1. Since we're now entering the final week for the main Chapter 1 side content milestone, I'm beginning to do bits of polish work that way. I'll show some of these at the end of this update, so you can duck out if you don't want any of those spoiled. Another thing that I've been working on is something that I want to keep secret. There's this secret special cockroach themed dungeon hidden in Chapter 1. It's a real good one. I think it's a very strong concept. You might have heard about the concept if you've been following the streams before, or if you've watched like some of the old development videos I have on my YouTube channel, those older like dev updates back for like the early versions of this project. Um, yeah, so I've done some more work on this on my live stream, but I want to be careful not to spoil it too much in things like the dev updates since they have a slightly wider reach. So I'll avoid like saying anything too specific about it here. If you're curious, you can check like the recorded the stream vods on my Twitch. You can see a little bit of that there. Um, so I won't be finishing this hidden dungeon this month because it's not very high priority compared to the rest of the chapter 1 stuff. Um, but it made for some fun stream. It made for some fun streaming last week. To take a break from all the scripting work for quests and stuff. If you have the opportunity to change modes like this when you're working on a project, I think it's a pretty good way to help your morale a bit. Giving yourself a break every once in a while from one part of the job to do another. It feels different, something that feels different to work on, especially if you have the fortune of doing both programming and also visual and audio work. I feel like shifting from intense programming, to just doing a bit of pixel work or audio work. I think it's good for you every once in a while. Um, yeah, that's basically what I've done. Now for freelancer work, Will Holthouse on Silent Will in the chat actually has made some updates on this here. The outside of the tower looks very nice. Still not finished, obviously. Still sketchy, but some nice progress on that. Change the this used to be like a door. Now it's more of a hole in the wall, which is more appropriate. And like these bits here, they're like collapsed bits of roof. Just very nice. also worked on the background, like the sky view of that same room. I think it's the same room, right? Or is that for the actual upper floor? This one? No, I think this is the side view. I think it is actually the background of this part, right? Yeah. So I like the. I just noticed the little spiral there. Like, were you going for a little bit of a Starry Night vibe there? That's very nice. You didn't want to go completely like all in on the Starry Night vibe. You just wanted a tiny little bit of it. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, that's basically the update. Like, yeah, I mean, the fact that I don't actually want to show too much of it. Actually, I do want to show some of those little things I added. So I want to show some, some of that polish work. So actually, let's do that now. I'll just show a little bit of that. Yeah, if you've watched the streams this week, like, you will have seen all of this. So yeah, I added just a few little like spooky moments, just to make just add a little bit more atmosphere to some of it. There's some more stuff that I want to add like this next week. But I'll be going into what's coming next after this. So yeah, let's just have a little preview. It should be. I did compile the game before the stream to make the compiling faster during it. There you go. It should be fast. Let's see. Well, fast is relative. It's still taking quite a while. You know, there's a lot of texture groups to make. There is a lot of texture groups to make. Jeez. Come on. West Outer Tower's taking a while. Jeez. Look at that. Yeah. That whole texture group. It's a big boy. It's true. It's weird though. You'd think that it would be fast, because usually when it takes a while, it's because there's a lot of small files, but this is just a few big files, right? Anyway, let's just warp to the beginning of chapter 1. The first bit I added here is a bit of foreshadowing for a later event in chapter 1. So if I cheat a bit to get through this part, you might hear a new sound here. A little kind of a cricket. That's a little odd. We kill this guy. Yeah. It's cricket. Yeah, this is a bit of foreshadowing for something that happens later. If you've seen the other parts of this area, at one point when you're actually just south of here, so this down there is the outer walls of the city, and at one point you can climb on top of the outer walls, and when you climbed on top there, there's this giant cricket, kind of grasshopper-looking mutant knight that jumps on top of the wall and attacks you, and that is this same guy. So now you just gonna get to see him a bit early. He's jumping from here, basically. So it's just a bit of a foreshadowing, and it's kind of a spooky first early game encounter. Another thing I added was just over here, just a random little spook. Just kind of a goof. Just a little goof. A little game goof. Just a fun thing here. The There's just a new little spooky thing that happens in this building. That's it. It's a weird thing in a barrel. Everyone loves a weird thing in a barrel. And there's some other stuff too. I added like a little ambush that happens in the inn. Oh, also one thing I was talking about earlier is also added some stuff that happens when you bring back those bodies. There's just some complications that can happen with those. And now there's this thing that happens here, which is when you get up there. And let's say I give myself a party here. And say I kill you. Now this might take I might still do some more details onto this, but now when you kill this guy and you return. Oh no! And you get ambushed by all three of them. I need to do some work on these. This guy here is missing some frames, so that's why he's looking huge like this. So you know, yeah. So those are just little fun things, fun little spooky moments. Just a few little extra things. So I want to work on a few more extra stuff like this, a few more little spooks like that. So yeah, I guess, yeah, coming up next week. So now I need to start wrapping up the work on Chapter 1. So there's a coming playtest of Chapter 1 the week of the 28th of November. So I have 1 week to tie up some loose ends and make sure everything's working on time for it. There's some stuff. So the stuff that I want to prioritize for it is... there's still a few details left for some of the quests in King Street that I really want to make sure they are ready on time. I want to add more banter between the characters that join your party. So you know, characters joining your party, there's a lot more opportunities where they could just pipe up and talk. Just mention something, like you enter a room that they have an opinion about, you know, they should say something. You know, there's a little bit of that in the game right now, but there could be a lot more. That, you know, that sort of stuff really helps to make your party feel like dynamic, like they're characters with, you know, that are actually sort of in that adventure with you. So yeah, I definitely want to spend a little bit of time on that. And also, yeah, it'll just be some sort of preliminary playtesting before the playtesting. So maybe next weekend I might ask some people to give to play through the build a bit, just to make sure there's no like immediate crashes and these kinds of major problems that could basically waste the time of like the playtesters the week after. You know, it kind of sucks when the playtesters like lose out an entire day of playtesting because the game has just a big crash right at the start or something. You know, you really want to avoid that as much as possible, because you know their time is precious. And also another thing I want to do next week. What was it? I lost my train of thought. I had another little point. Well, no matter. But yes. So also, and so the week after, so this is what I'll be doing next week. The week after is going to be the playtesting itself. And so I'll probably be spending most of that week just like putting out the fires, you know, fixing problems as they come in. So that's probably going to be the big focus of this. So it's going to be a big sort of playtest fixing week. And I might also like squeeze in some little bits of polish there, some last minute polish as they go. And I'll be trying to put out a new build every day so that so they can like continue testing. But yes, and next month, so this is going to be like we're really reaching the end of the chapter 1 focus. So next month, I'll probably start the first week on some on, like, dealing with some of the less urgent stuff that came up in the playtesting. So if they found bugs and problems, that'll be when I start fixing those, because the playtesting's over. So yeah. And I'll start also working on sort of planning the road ahead for the chapter 2 side quest work, which is when, December is when that begins. The focus on the chapter 2 side content is going to be for 4 months. So it begins in December, and then, it's going to end, continues into January, February, and March. And March is probably going to have also another, like, big playtest for chapter 2. It's really, I kind of think of it as like 3 months and a half, really, because, like the first part of the first part of December is really just going to be fixing the bugs found in chapter 1 and planning this session ahead. And also December itself is usually a bit of a wash, with the holidays and everything. And, generally December, you try not to be working super hard. At least, yeah. So that'll probably be the case for me too. So yeah, it's really more like a half month on December. But yeah, that's it. That's the update. So, if anyone's got any questions that you could think of over the course of this update, I can answer them. And otherwise, I'll be stopping the stream and resuming it at 9 p.m. to play some Kingsfield. Do we got any questions? Nope. All right. No questions for now. That's fine. So check in. Yeah, if you're interested in seeing me play some Kingsfield, I'll be playing this in like 40 minutes. So, thank you all for watching, and see you in just a bit.